I'm Travis Wuertz of Wuertz Machine Works, doing, well, another video on my surface grinding attachment. I just shot a video, well, just about a minute ago, and where I just took some, well, rusty cold rolled stock, or not cold rolled, but hot rolled stock, and surface ground both sides. Now I'm going to show off my tapering attachment. And so what I'm going to do, just to be able to see the taper better, is I have some die chem, and I'm going to paint my fingers, the stock. And doing both sides right now is kind of a waste, and so I'm probably just going to scrape it off when I pull it off the magnet. But anyway, while that dries, is the tapering attachment I'm talking about. Is I have a built-in, well, yeah, it's a built-in tapering attachment. And if you're familiar with surface grinding, or you're familiar with a lot of machining, you know of a sign block or a sign table. And a sign table uses basically round stock and point contact on a plate to where you can shim accurately. Now this one is set up for two different tapers. And the reason there's two different tapers is if you're going to taper a knife blade, when you taper the first side, here's one I did for another video, but I run over 15 minutes and YouTube wouldn't let me load it. Is this I did about 80 thousandths taper over, it would be 80 thousandths taper on 6 inches. And so that's 40 thousandths per side. When I stick it the first way, you would run 40 thousandths taper from flat. When you flip it over, that taper would go back to level. So you have to run 80 thousandths taper from flat or get an equal 40 thousandths taper on that side. Anyway, not going on a lot of that stuff, is I'm just going to do it. And the way this works is I just take a feeler gauge. I did 40 thousandths taper on that last one, but this is thicker stock, and so for the heck of it, I'm going to do, well, whatever one I find here that 40, 50, blah, 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 well, 75. That's a pretty significant taper, especially for the first side, because that's going to do 75 per side. So I'm going to stick under my first point, and that's 75 thousandths per side. So if I run the taper back 6 inches, that will have taken off 150 thousandths. I think this is, see my caliper, so that's 5 1/4 there. We'll call it 5, and we'll just make a little bit of a mark. Hopefully I can see it at least. But anyway, I'm just going to make somewhat of a mark, so I have something to kind of go to. So I have my taper set, and I'm going to stick this right there and square it up, and I'm going to center that up a little bit. Now I'm going to start tapering. Now I have to move this back because now I got that 75 thousandths closer to my wheel, and make sure I'm not touching, and start her up again. I just started to touch. I'm going to zero out my little indicator just because I've been playing with it, and it's kind of neat. Now it's nice is even these heavy bites, and also I'm using these Cubitron belts from 3M, is in the combination really doesn't heat up the stock too much, and with this hard serrated wheel it's a very aggressive cut. But I'm taking off about 5 thousandths a pass. I'm just watching my line. stop there, let that wind down, and now the doubling feature, the doubling part of this tapering feature is I can just loosen these two bolts. Now I can leave that, let it cool, grab my same shim stock. Now this doesn't have to be a feeler gauge, it could be round stock, it could be flat stock, it could be anything that's consistent. We only need the one thickness, which is nice. You're not searching for exactly double of what it is, and of course you want to put this where it's not in the way of your wrench. Tighten this nut here, tighten that nut here. Drink a little coffee. Now I gotta back this back out. Just past touch. Now, oh yeah, you gotta flip your piece over. Now I'm putting this. Watch your fingers and the magnets, and stick that there. I have this close to the end of the table so I don't run out. I'm at about 7 minutes. I don't want to go over 10. If I get to 15, then I got to throw the video away anyway. So yeah, we'll run this taper. The nice thing about tapering a tang this way is you build up very little heat. It's precise, and it really allows you to taper your tangs after heat treating and keep the warpage from happening. Now if this video dies suddenly, because I'm going to cut it regardless at, well, no more than 12 minutes, otherwise it's really a pain in the butt to load. But luckily, as everything's pretty easy to use and nothing takes all that long, other than me jabbering. Let that wind down. Alright, now tell me when I get it to where you can see it. So I think you can see the taper there. So now, just for, and the sucker's warm, but you know, it's pretty amazing on a 1/4 inch, and with that much taper, where I went from, well, let's see, 0.1125 to, or 2305 to 0.11, so a little over 100 thousandths taper on 5 inches, and that's a pretty significant taper. So I'm gonna stop there, otherwise I can't load this video.